In today's video, we're going to be talking about the real reason why Tommy Vercetti doesn't appear in Grand Theft Auto anymore outside of when he was the main protagonist of GTA Vice City. So on my channel before, I've done videos like the real reason why Niko Bellic is not in GTA 5, where we discuss differences between Rockstar Games and the voice actor and motion capture artist who played Niko Bellic. And the other day, I saw my good friend Zach Cox upload a video that was something along the lines of like, why doesn't Rockstar Games like Niko and Tommy Vercetti? And I learned something in that video, and I'm going to share it with you guys in this one today. So immediately the answer that you guys and myself probably thought of as why we haven't seen Tommy Vercetti in, more GTA games like San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 4, GTA 5, etc., was because of the universe rules. So the way that Rockstar's universe rules works is if you're a character in one universe, like the 2D era, then you can't be a character in another universe, like the 3D era or the HD universe. So because Tommy Vercetti first starred in Vice City, that would be the 3D era, that would make him unavailable to reappear in games like GTA 4, episodes from Liberty City, and Grand Theft Auto 5. It's kind of strange logic by Rockstar, and I'm not entirely too sure why they do that, but they've always stated, and they've gone on record saying that the 3D era and the HD era are in completely different universes of each other. So there's no way that Tommy Vercetti could exist in Vice City and also could exist in something like GTA 5. Now, for the sake of this video, I'd like for you guys to pretend that that doesn't exist, that Rockstar doesn't have that weird rule of crossing universes. But even if that rule didn't exist, that still doesn't exclude Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which also took place in the 3D era after Vice City, which meant that Tommy Vercetti could have appeared in that game, but he ended up not appearing at all. Now, Tommy Vercetti was referenced in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and we even see other Vice City characters appearing in GTA San Andreas, like his sidekick and his lawyer, Ken Rosenberg, who can be seen multiple times throughout the game referencing Tommy, attempting to contact Tommy, and even mistakes CJ for Tommy in a mission, where he literally calls him by the name Tommy. So Rockstar was not afraid to reference Tommy Vercetti. They weren't afraid to feature him in the game, but his physical character never showed up. And we haven't really seen him be mentioned or show up in any games after that, whether it's Grand Theft Auto 4, its DLCs, or GTA 5. Well, what's the real reason for that? Well, it's actually strikingly similar to the reason Niko Bellic no longer appears in the Grand Theft Auto series. And the answer to that is money. So before we can talk about money, we need to talk about who actually was the voice actor and motion capture artist for Tommy Vercetti. And it's a pretty recognizable name that I'm sure you guys are going to know, and that is Ray Liotta. So you guys might know Ray Liotta from his movies and TV shows like Field of Dreams, Goodfellas, Wild Hogs, movies like that. He's an incredibly popular and famous actor, and he was responsible for doing the voice and motion capture for Tommy Vercetti. Now, what's pretty cool is he has gone on record describing his process of making Tommy Vercetti. I'll leave a couple of links in the description. The first one we're going to be taking a look at today is an IGN article that was published in 2002. And the title of it is called The Voice of Vice City, where Ray Liotta tells IGN about his work in the new, at the time, GTA game. He said, "It was actually a lot of fun. There's great people on this one, and I did my homework with it. I knew it's a pretty intense game. I was trying to go under the radar with it." So that's a pretty interesting point he makes at the very end. He was trying to go under the radar with it. Now, back in 2002, I think an actor as famous as Ray Liotta, it might have been, I don't know if embarrassing is the right word, but video games at the time didn't have the same distinction as movies and TV shows. Now, video games today require an incredible amount of acting talent and work. Just think of games like The Last of Us, Detroit Become Human. The emotion that you have to have when portraying a character is insane. But at the time in 2002, it was a little bit different. Now, a very interesting quote from the article was, in terms of the differences acting in a video game versus acting in a movie, he stated that the biggest difference is cash, quote unquote. So maybe the paycheck for doing voiceovers isn't as hefty as that of a major studio picture. But most actors will admit that voiceover work is a cakewalk. They put you in a sound booth, slap on some headphones over your ears, turn on the mic, and let you read the lines. Now, Liotta clarified by saying, no, it's not a cakewalk, no way, because you know you want it to seem real. It's a great challenge. You're creating a character that's not there before. I'm the player, so you see my guy, but it's kind of like I'm you or you're me. You're making me move and then talking to this character when you make a left. It's so unbelievable. It's so intense. What makes the game, aside from the graphics, is that you make a left-hand turn or you go into a car and there's one scenario that happens. If you make a right-hand turn, there's a whole other different thing. If I talk to one guy, I'll be talking one way, and if someone else shows up, you choose to talk to someone else. It's a whole different thing. The scenarios go on and on. It's exhausting. So a couple things I gathered from this. Number one, not that I'm questioning Ray Liotta's work ethic in any way, shape, or form, but it definitely seems as if he was even a little surprised at how much work creating a character like Tommy Vercetti is, and that it definitely wasn't enough cash in terms of how much he was paid. Now, 2002 was a long time ago, so it is kind of hard to compare like how much money he got then versus how much that would have been now. But what's interesting is that's very similar to Nico Bellic's voice actor's situation, Michael Hollick, where he was paid $100,000 for his work to basically create Nico Bellic. And he said that wasn't enough, given all the work he had to do and how much money Rockstar ended up making. Which at the end of the day, $100,000 is a ton of money, but compared to the multi-millions of dollars that Rockstar made, is really just a drop in the hat. So it's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. Now, in another article published by Wired in 2012, they actually titled it "Going Hollywood Wasn't Easy for Grand Theft Auto," where they basically talk about all the Hollywood actors they had for Vice City, like Jenna Jameson, Burt Reynolds, and Ray Liotta, were very, very difficult. Basically, in that interview, they talk about how difficult it was to work with a lot of these mainstream celebrities because, again, at the time in 2002, video games weren't as big as they were today. So they weren't used to doing the sort of work that goes into creating these characters. They said how Ray Liotta didn't necessarily take it all that seriously, was pretty difficult to work with. So I think that there's two underlying big factors here. Number one, Rockstar chose a big-time celebrity for Tommy Vercetti. And I think they end up regretting that. And I honestly think that's a reason now while big-time celebrities don't play major characters. I mean, take a look at Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. They at the time weren't played by anyone that was super well known. Same with Nico Bellic. His voice actor was relatively unknown until Grand Theft Auto 4 came out. However, Ray Liotta was already an established figure. So because of that, there are challenges with working with someone that's already that famous, that successful, that popular. And it does make it difficult for them to be brought back because they do have their other projects that they're working on. And that sort of builds into the second thing, money. Obviously, someone like Ray Liotta is going to want a lot of money to do something like this. And that seemed to be the big problem here too. So if they ever wanted Tommy Vercetti to return, they would have to get Ray Liotta, which would mean dealing with his schedule, his complications, and his salary and paycheck. So that right there is the real reason why Tommy Vercetti never returned in the Grand Theft Auto series. It was probably just too difficult for him to come back, which is why he was probably referenced in San Andreas, but never really appeared, which is why we see Easter eggs in GTA 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5, but of course he never shows up. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Do you think that money and the success of their voice actor they chose, Ray Liotta, is the real reason why Tommy Vercetti doesn't appear anymore in Grand Theft Auto? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.